Raised beds are not just wooden boxes anymore. In 2026, people are building raised beds for tiny patios, big backyard vegetable gardens, senior-friendly gardening, low water setups, pollinator corners, modern curb appeal, and even no-dig compost systems that feed the soil while they grow food. But here's the problem. A lot of raised bed ideas look amazing online until you realize they cost too much, dry out too fast, block your mower path, or turn into a weedy mess by midsummer. So today we're counting down 10 raised bed ideas for 2026 that actually make sense. Some are budget-friendly, some are more stylish. Some are built for serious vegetable production, and a few are perfect if you want a garden that looks good even before anything starts growing. Before we start, drop your garden size in the comments. Are you working with a balcony, a small backyard, half-acre homestead, or just one sunny corner by the fence? And don't skip number 1, because it might be the smartest raised bed setup for most homeowners. At number 10, the classic cedar vegetable bed. This is the raised bed most people picture first. A simple rectangle, usually 4 feet wide, 8 feet long, and somewhere around 10 to 16 inches deep. And honestly, there is a reason it has stayed popular. Cedar looks good, it handles outdoor use better than cheaper untreated lumber, and it fits almost any garden style. If you want tomatoes, peppers, lettuce, carrots, onions, herbs, and flowers all in one clean layout, this is still one of the easiest ways to start. The big advantage is simplicity. You can build one bed, learn what grows well, then add more later. A 4-foot width matters because most people can reach into the middle from either side without stepping into the soil. That helps keep the soil loose instead of compacted. The downside is cost. Cedar is usually more expensive than basic lumber, and if you build multiple beds, the price climbs fast. Also, wood eventually breaks down. It may last years, but it is not permanent. This idea is best for beginners who want a clean, proven raised bed without overcomplicating the garden. At number 9, galvanized metal raised beds. These have exploded in popularity because they look modern, come in lots of shapes, and usually last longer than cheap wood. You've probably seen the round, oval, or modular metal beds in backyard garden videos. They are neat, stylish, and surprisingly practical. The big hook is durability. A good metal bed can handle rain, sun, and repeated seasons better than many basic wooden beds. They also look finished right away, which matters if your garden is visible from a patio, driveway, or outdoor seating area. They work especially well for homeowners who want the garden to look intentional, not like a weekend scrapwood project. But there are trade-offs. Metal beds can heat up in full sun, and the soil may dry faster in hot climates. That means mulch and consistent watering matter. Also, cheaper metal beds can have thin panels, sharp edges, or flimsy bracing, so don't just buy the cheapest one you see. This is best for someone who wants a clean 2026 garden look and does not mind paying a little more upfront for a bed that should hold its shape longer. At number 8, the concrete block raised bed. This is the practical, heavy-duty, no-fancy tools option. You lay out the blocks, stack them if you need more height, fill the center with soil, and you have a raised bed that can last a long time. The biggest advantage is accessibility. Concrete blocks are easy to find, easy to arrange, and easy to replace. You can make a rectangle, square, L-shape, or long border bed without cutting lumber. And the small holes in the blocks can become bonus planting pockets for herbs, marigolds, alyssum, strawberries, or trailing flowers. That gives you more planting space without making the bed bigger. But here's the honest part. Concrete block beds are heavy. Once you build one, you probably want to move it. They also have a more industrial look, so they may not fit every backyard style. And depending on your area, concrete blocks are not always as cheap as people expect. This idea is best for gardeners who want strength, flexibility, and function over a polished magazine look. At number 7, waist-high elevated beds. This is the raised bed idea for people who want to garden without kneeling, bending, or crawling around in the dirt. These beds sit on legs like a large planter table. They are great for patios, decks, small spaces, seniors, renters, and anyone with back or knee issues. The biggest benefit is comfort. You can plant herbs, lettuce, spinach, strawberries, green onions, compact peppers, and flowers while standing up. No muddy knees, no bending over for every weed, no fighting compacted ground soil. They are also great near a kitchen door because you can step outside and grab herbs while cooking. But they are not perfect. Because they are basically large containers, they dry out faster than in-ground raised beds. They also have limited soil depth, so they are not ideal for big tomato plants, corn, pumpkins, or deep-rooted crops. This is not the bed for maximum food production. It is the bed for convenience. If you want a small garden that is easy to maintain and easy on your body, waist-high beds are one of the best ideas for 2026. At number 6, the Trellis Raised Bed. This is where raised beds start getting really efficient. Instead of only growing outward, you grow upward. Add a cattle panel arch, wooden A-frame, metal grid, or simple vertical trellis, and suddenly, one bed can support cucumbers, peas, pole beans, small melons, climbing flowers, or indeterminate tomatoes. The big advantage is space. A trellis lets you grow more food in the same footprint. It also improves airflow, makes harvesting easier, and keeps fruit off the soil. And visually, this is one of the best-looking raised bed ideas. An arched trellis between two beds can turn a basic garden into a walkway. Add beans, cucumbers, nasturtiums, or flowering vines, and by midsummer it looks like a living tunnel. The downside is planting. You need strong support, especially for heavy crops. A weak trellis might handle peas, but it may struggle with cucumbers or melons. You also need to place it where it will not shade sun-loving plants too much. This idea is best for small gardens where every square foot matters. And if you were growing in a backyard, side yard, or urban garden, vertical growing is one of the smartest upgrades you can make. At number 5, the Pollinator Raised Bed. This one is not just about vegetables, it is about bringing life into the garden. A pollinator bed mixes flowers, herbs, and sometimes vegetables to attract bees, butterflies, hoverflies, and other beneficial insects. Think lavender, calendula, borage, zinnias, marigolds, salvia, coniflowers, alyssum, dill, parsley, basil, and thyme. This type of bed is perfect near your vegetable garden because pollinators help crops like cucumbers, squash, melons, peppers, and tomatoes perform better. It also makes the garden look finished. A vegetable bed can look empty early in the season. A pollinator bed gives you color, movement, and texture. The trick is choosing plants that bloom at different times. You want something flowering early, something in midsummer, and something still going late in the season. The downside is that it can look messy if you do not plant it well. Some flowers spread, flop, or self-seed aggressively. So this bed is best for gardeners who want beauty and function together. If your raised bed garden feels too plain, add one pollinator bed and the whole space feels more alive. At number 4, the Kitchen Herb Raised Bed. This is one of the highest value small raised bed ideas because herbs are expensive at the grocery store and easy to waste. A small raised bed near the kitchen can grow basil, parsley, cilantro, chives, oregano, thyme, rosemary, sage, mint, and dill. But here's the important part. Do not plant mint loose in the same bed unless you want mint forever. Mint spreads aggressively, so keep it in its own container or sink a pot into the bed to control it. The kitchen herb bed works best when it is close to the house. If you have to walk across the yard in the rain to grab parsley, you probably want to use it as much. The big benefit is daily usefulness. You may not harvest tomatoes every day, but herbs can upgrade meals all season long. This bed can also be smaller than a vegetable bed. Even a 2x4-foot bed can produce a lot of herbs. The downside is watering and timing. Cilantro bolts fast in heat. Basil hates cold. Rosemary wants great drainage, so you still need to match herbs to your climate. But for beginners, cooks, and small space gardeners, a kitchen herb bed is one of the most practical ideas on this list. At number 3, the Hugelkultur Raised Bed. This is the raised bed for people who want to use logs, branches, leaves, compost, and organic waste to build a living soil system. Instead of filling the entire bed with expensive bagged soil, you layer woody material. At the bottom, add smaller branches and organic matter, then finish with compost and topsoil. Over time, the wood breaks down and helps hold moisture. That is the big selling point. A Hugelkultur-style bed can reduce fill cost, recycle yard debris, and build soil over time. It is especially useful for deeper beds because filling a tall bed entirely with premium soil can get expensive fast. But there are rules. Do not use treated lumber. Be careful with woods that resist breakdown or may affect plant growth. And make sure you still have enough good growing mix on top for roots. The first season may need extra nitrogen because decomposing wood can temporarily tie up nutrients. This idea is best for gardeners who want a more sustainable soil building approach and do not mind a little extra setup work. It is not the neatest looking method while you build it, but once planted, it can be incredibly productive. At number 2, the U-shaped raised bed. This is one of the best layouts for serious backyard growers. Instead of building separate rectangles, you create a U-shape with walking space in the middle. That gives you lots of planting area while keeping everything within reach. The big advantage is workflow. You can stand in the center and access multiple sides without walking around the whole garden. It feels efficient, organized, and easy to manage. This layout works beautifully for mixed vegetable gardening. You can put tomatoes and peppers on one side, leafy greens and herbs on another, root crops in the front, and trellises along the back. It also looks great. A U-shaped bed feels more like an outdoor garden room than a random box in the yard. The downside is space. You need enough room to make the shape useful, and you need pathways wide enough for a wheelbarrow or garden cart if you plan to use one. Also, once it is built, changing the layout is harder. This idea is best for homeowners who already know they want a real raised bed garden, not just one test bed. If you want maximum production with a clean design, the U-shaped bed is hard to beat. At number 1, the Modular Raised Bed system. This is the best overall raised bed idea for 2026 because it gives you flexibility. And flexibility matters. Most beginners do not know exactly what garden layout they will want 3 years from now. Maybe you start with herbs, then add tomatoes. Maybe you want flowers later. Maybe you realize your sunny spot is smaller than you thought. A modular system lets you grow in stages. You can start with 1 or 2 beds, then add matching beds, trellis kits, covers, drip irrigation, hoop supports, or pollinator corners over time. This can be done with metal beds, cedar beds, composite beds, or even matching block beds. The material matters less than the system. The idea is simple. Build a garden that can expand without looking random. That means matching heights, leaving good pathways, planting irrigation early, and thinking about how you will mow or walk around the beds. This is where many raised bed gardens fail. People build one bed here, another bed there, then suddenly the garden is hard to water, hard to weed, and awkward to maintain. A modular layout fixes that. Start with 2 or 3 beds in a clean grid or L shape. Leave enough walking room. Add mulch or gravel paths. Put taller crops to the north side if you are in the northern hemisphere, so they do not shade everything else. Add a trellis later. Add drip irrigation when you can. This is not always the cheapest idea up front, but it is the smartest long-term setup because it grows with you. For most homeowners in 2026, I would rather see a simple modular raised bed garden done well than 10 random beds that become a maintenance headache. So those are 10 raised bed ideas for 2026. The classic cedar bed is still the beginner-friendly choice. Galvanized metal beds give you that clean, modern look. Concrete block beds are strong, flexible, and practical. Waist-high elevated beds are best for comfort and accessibility. Trellis beds help you grow more in less space. Pollinator beds bring color, insects, and better garden balance. Kitchen herb beds are small but useful almost every day. Hugelkultur beds help reduce fill cost and build soil over time. U-shaped beds are great for serious backyard food production. And the modular raised bed system takes number 1 because it gives you the best long-term flexibility. Now I want to hear from you. Which raised bed idea would you actually build? Would you go with cedar, metal, concrete block, elevated beds, or a full modular garden setup? Drop your garden size and your favorite idea in the comments. And if this helped you plan your 2026 garden, hit like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.